I found somebody, I say you don't cross my mind. And she doesn't know that your favorite place is still mine. Now I take the long way home, avoid what I can.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. My name's Renee. If you're new, thanks for stopping by. Today it's actually the last day of February, which is so exciting. And I just got back yesterday from a trip. I went to Denver with Chase and Dane. It was so much fun.
You already know
Used to
what's
look
up.
over my shoulder, I would get scared of my shadow. Was a pussy on my lap till I made you thank you for status. Now I look over my shoulder, really rapid, been a planet. Used to fantasizing by the time I let you touch my penis. I stole your key, you are not fresh, I stole your swerve. Building a house, made up of lies, what was it worth? I'm not a cheater, I'm not a threat, I don't want part. If it's not God, if it's not cash, not my desire. I just got 15 more. Used to walk around my college campus, scared of everybody. I was special, I was different, and my talent used to haunt me. Avoiding every conflict, but inside I was a champion. Now my records sound like Percocet, you sound like you want it. A nominated candidate to take the place of Jimmy. A nominated candidate to take the place of Jimmy. I nominate a woman, I think she can make a killing. A woman in the office means some spirits going missing. A woman in the office told me Jesus finally risen. If no one's got the God to speak, I'll be the one to speak it. I pray time would speed up so I could just come out and say it. It's no gatekeepers for me, only me gets to say I might just go more open. You just get more close. Garden full of music, garden full of pros. God don't supply the poor man, he don't feed him hoes. God paid me in installments, he said I am chose. Too much alien emotion trapped inside a human body. He once tried to groom me, but I groomed him back Illuminati. If you shift the sailing ship by even the smallest degree, you won't feel it till you wind up somewhere you ain't supposed to be. That's how I know I changed the code.
I ended up getting back last night around like 1 o'clock in the morning. I unpacked, I took a shower. I am that kind of person, like I have to unpack before I go to bed. That way I can wake up fresh. And I got a delivery, a furniture delivery, which we'll talk about in a second. And I'm just feeling like really good. I don't know about you guys, but like when I come back from a trip, I always feel like weirdly, like extremely motivated. It being like March 1st tomorrow is just like really exciting, and this is going to be the first video for March. We have a lot of exciting things coming, and like the content that we used to have, not so much the content that I've been pouring out. I want to like get back into getting motivated for YouTube and like setting goals and, you know, just like focusing more on my work rather than like my life. The past few months have just been posted just simply to post, and I really hate doing that. So I have like really good ideas. I'm feeling extremely motivated, and I'm just really excited. I also wanted to chat a little bit with you guys about some things that I've been learning since, you know, living alone and just being on my own. And I think when you become single after being in a relationship for so long, like I was, you start to notice, you know, things, and you're growing every single day and learning every single day. It's like really a tough period in my life, but at the same time, I'm growing so much, realizing things that I never really realized before. And that's another thing I kind of like journaled and reflected on the plane, like traits about myself that I've been realizing. I tend to like worry a lot. I have not the best confidence level, and then I also think extremely negative. I'm very pessimistic, but I think, and I've talked about this before, like I started my channel, if you guys are familiar with my channel, like way back in the day, I was all like law of attraction, like that's how my channel grew. I was very positive. I would say almost naive thinker, but I feel like I disconnected from that after everything went down in 2020 and life happened to me. And I was very aware of that, and I just didn't really want to fix it. Like I just had kind of more of a negative outlook on life. And I think that's normal after you like go through something like that. But I feel like for some reason I had like this spark on the way to Denver. I was like, I don't want to be like this anymore. Like I don't want to sit here and like be so negative all the time and like think worst case scenario and like not have a positive spin on life, because it really is affecting my mental health so bad, and it has been the past 2 years. And I was like ready to make that change. Like I literally sat with myself and I was like, I cannot do this anymore. Like I'm just thinking so negative, and it's really bad. It's not fun, you know? Like I realize when I think in more positive light, I attract better things in my life. I feel better. And lately I've just been really like giving really negative self-talk to myself, and I can see it flourishing into like negativity in my life. So I thought about, and I like journaled out all my little notes. In terms of worrying, I read this quote that really has helped, because I tend to like think and think and think and think and think. If you are an over worrier, you're thinking about like the final scenario, like way, way, way in the future. And so if you ask yourself like, what's your next step? No wonder why over worriers are so worried, because we think about the conclusion of our like where we want to be at the very end of whatever we're worrying about. And that comes with so much stress and overwhelm. So if you just like simplify it and think, okay, what can I do like right now? Like what's the next thing that it's gonna happen? It makes your worry level from like 90 to like 10%. I saw this TikTok and it was saying how the past is your memories and the future is like your imagination, which both are not real. The only thing that's real is like the present moment. It's so true. Sometimes like if I catch myself worrying, I look at my like surroundings and I'm like, am I at ease in this moment? Like right now in this moment, am I at ease? I also reflect a lot about my past and think about like what ifs or what could have happened or what should I have done. Instead of like thinking about that, because it's already happened, there's like nothing I can do. It's just like harping into my present moment and making me upset. You have to let the past bury. Like literally visualize yourself burying the past that you're worrying about. So now I have my confidence section. So when I think about my confidence, I tend to like give myself a lot of negative self-talk. Like my internal dialogue is not the best. You have to like detach yourself from your thoughts. So literally look at your thoughts from like an outside party looking in, like your higher being, like wherever our soul is, you know, like there's our soul and there's like our physical body. So if you dive deeper into like your higher being and like you look at your thoughts from an outsider's perspective and just look at it from like the corner of the room, if you will, you're basically like watching the thinker. Like watch your thoughts, don't become your thoughts or can be consumed by them. When I do that, it detaches myself from that moment and I feel like I'm just watching them. They're not like creating my emotions, if that makes sense, or creating my responses towards anything that's external. And then I also want to replace why with so I will. So sometimes you think about yourself and you have like this low self-talk and you're like, why am I like this? Or why did I do this? Or why can't I do this? And instead of thinking about those things, say like, what can I do about it? So if I'm unhappy with X, Y, and Z, next time I will do this. And then this is the worst one that I've really want to work on. I've been extremely negative. You guys have seen it in the past 2 years. I've seen the comments, I know, and I'm very aware of it. I went through hell, I went through loss, and I just went through something that really did alter my view of life in a way that I didn't feel like was the healthiest, and I have been extremely negative, and that's not something I want to do anymore. So the negative thinking acceptance, this is something my therapist told me. She's like, you just need to learn to accept like what it is. It is what it is, let it be, because that alone will give you so much peace. Sometimes I think about like my present situation and I'm like not as happy with it, or there's things beyond my control that I tend to get overwhelmed from and I just think very negatively about, or if someone does something to me that I'm like, it triggers something in me, creates these like negative responses, and I just need to like instead accept what it is, because I don't have control over it. I have a lot of people upstairs, like my ancestors. There's like My great grandmother, even though I never met her, my mom's grandmother, sometimes if we go to psychics or something, like she always pops up. My dad is up there, like everyone else up there that is watching over me. I feel loved and I feel like everything is happening for me and not against me. Like as much as I don't understand it right now, I have to learn to accept what is. They're allowing it, or like the universe or God, like whatever it is, whoever's looking out for you is allowing it for a reason, and you need to learn to flow with those reasons and find out why it's happening to you and just let it be rather than resisting it, because when you resist it, it is what it is. Like if it's meant to be, it's meant to be, and if you're resisting it, you're just literally creating turmoil in your life for no freaking reason. Like it's gonna happen the way it is anyway, so like why resist it? And then I also want to focus on gratitude. This is like a quick, easy like hack that if you're ever negative or feeling low, if you just name 3 things that you're grateful for, it will like give you that little like spark up. Like you're not going to feel as low. It works every time. But I want to start naming things as much as possible. Like just focus on every single day on like randomly thinking about how grateful I am for certain things. Like this morning I woke up and I'm so thankful for my home. I'm so thankful for the sun and heat in Florida after going to Denver. Like I'm just very blessed and I'm so lucky, and I just need to remember that. You can create a challenge for yourself and try naming things that you're grateful for in a bad space. So if something bad happened to you, find out why you can be grateful for that situation. Example, like a lesson that you can learn from it or something like that. And that's like creating gratitude within the bad times, which will create a good time out of the bad time. Like, why did I experience that? What am I getting from this? You can filter your past with positive experiences. You become what you choose to focus on. So if you look at your past like situation and you're only focusing on the bad, that's what I noticed. Like I literally will only focus on the 1% of the bad thing that happened in an experience rather than all the good things. And no shit, I'm only attracting the bad because that's what I'm focusing on. Like instead of that, like what went well in that situation, like what was a good part of it. So that's what I just like learned about myself. That's like my journaling session. I went into the airport to Denver and I was going to miss my flight, guys. I've never missed my flight ever. I did something that I probably shouldn't have done, and I like in turn was missing my flight and I was panicking. Here comes the negative talk, here comes the worrying. My confidence was like, what the heck, Renee, what are you doing? You're so stupid. Everything was just hitting. And I was like, you know what, I'm gonna like practice this law of attraction. Let's see if it still works. Let's see if it's a thing. So I got there and I like had less than an hour to get on my flight, and Chase's birthday was that day, and I was like, he's gonna hate me. He told me not to do said thing that I did that was gonna make me late to my flight, and I did it anyway. I was just like, oh my god, like just panic mode. Here comes the pessimistic Renee, and I'm just making the situation worse. Like either way, like it is what it is. Like whatever's gonna happen is gonna happen. So I just allowed it to happen. I was like, positive thinking, it's gonna be okay. Like acceptance, we'll figure it out. Let's just like let it roll. Let's not be in our heads without creating things that are not happening. So I get there and then I have my suitcase and there's like all these people in line to check their bag, and that alone looked like it was an hour wait. And I was like, oh my god, just to the kiosk to check in, not even to drop off the bag. I'm like, oh my god. So I went up to a lady. I was like, hey, listen, I'm gonna miss my flight. Like, is there any way that I can? And she's like, there's like more kiosks. Like everyone just tends to like follow everyone else, but there's like a million other kiosks in the back. I'm like, really? So everyone was like in line for this one kiosk. They thought there was one kiosk. And so I ran over to the other side and there's like a free open one. I'm like, oh my god, I just passed by all these people. So I'm like checking in, get my bag checked in, everything. I'm like, yes. And I have TSA pre-check, so I'm like, I'm gonna get in, get out. I get to the line, I'm like looking at the security, I'm like, holy crap, that's a huge security line. Thank god I don't have to deal with that. Thank god I have TSA. Went to TSA, the line was a little bit long for TSA. Sat in line for about 10-15 minutes, and then the girl's like doing my thing and she's like, do you have TSA? I was like, yeah. And she's like, no, you don't. And I realized I usually fly Delta, but I was flying Southwest and I forgot to put my TSA pre-check in my Southwest one. And I was like, oh my god, I'm like, I literally have like 15 minutes to get on my flight. Like, help. She's like, sorry, like you gotta get in line. I was like, okay. Panic started happening. I went to another lady and I was like, is there any way like I'm gonna miss my flight? She's like, no, you gotta stand in line like everyone else. Like, okay. Keep in mind, this is my first time flying back since I've been here. Like I haven't flown on a plane for a while, so I'm kind of frazzled to begin with. And I'm like, you know what? I called my mom in a panic and I woke her up at like 5 in the morning. I was like, I'm gonna miss my flight, like, and I realized I'm like, I'm doing it again. Like, this is a growth, just let it be. Take a breath. You have 15 minutes before your flight boards. Like, it is what it is. Started to think about, I have my checked in bag. I'm gonna miss my flight and I'm gonna come home and then I won't even have my bag. It's gonna be in Denver. I won't have my toothbrush. Like, and I just went like crazy and I was like, dial it back. I caught it, let it go. I'm getting in the line. The line's actually moving pretty fast. And I was like, okay. And then I get there, like, and there's probably like, I want to say like 10 people in front of me. And the lady looks at me and she's like, you, and then opens up like another section. And she's like, you, come here, like other people behind me. So she literally opened another like person to check, what's it called? The people that like check your ID to go into security. I was like, I literally just passed 10 people. I was like, okay, positive thinking is working. And then she checked me, all this stuff. I'm getting in, like, took my shoes off, all that stuff, was gonna get into the little, you know, security thing. And there's 2 people with a wheelchair in front of me, which means that they're gonna take a little bit of extra time. And I was like, oh my God. And I was like, you know, positive thinking, it's gonna be fine. The guy took me randomly over to the other side where I just have to go through the like metal detector. I don't even have to do this thing. I was like, okay, what the heck? I was on like cloud 9. I was like, this is like insane. I just started thinking positive and all these things are just like randomly like happening. I'm like waiting for my bag to come through the like thing, and then it goes to the other side where they have to like check through the like bag. I guess they saw something in my bag. I was like, oh God, jeez. I'm like, it's fine. He goes, is this your bag? I said, yeah. And I was thinking I have to go around and have them look through my bag. And he goes, here you go. Like randomly just passed through everyone else's bags. I was like, thank you. Went to my gate. I made my flight. Like it was perfect timing. I think I had like a minute to spare. Like it was just crazy how fast the positive thinking worked. And even if it didn't like manifest the actual scenarios of that situation, my stress levels and my energy levels when I caught myself negatively thinking created a 100% better experience than if I were to have panicked throughout that whole entire thing. I would have had the exact same experience, but it would have been a horrible, stressful experience. So it's just, yeah, I like really want to focus on that. And I'm glad, you know, that I feel like I'm in the mindset now to want that, because when you are in that headspace, sometimes it's really hard to even want to be better. And I don't know why, but this whole trip really just sparks that for me. And I feel like I'm like in such a good headspace and good mood right now. And I'm loving it. Like I'm taking it. I'm in the mood to film again and like be myself, and I'm just like being healthy. Like I'm just excited, guys. I'm in a good mood and it's the beginning of the month. So anyway, long story short, we're working on ourselves.
Everything good? Yeah, before you go, I really gotta talk to you about something.
Paralyzed state of mind. Still my eyes go drip, drop. Try to find the other side while the sky is going drip, drop. Love has a fee. The debt is piling up, it seems. No guarantees. We'll see if it's right.
Morning, happy March 1st, that's what I know it is. It's also Tuesday. I kind of caught up on my sleep yesterday and it feels so good. I've been going to bed like actually kind of late. I've been trying to fix my schedule because I like got a lot of anxiety like sleeping alone when I first moved into this apartment. So I would like wake up at like 3 and then like I can't sleep. I had like not insomnia in the sense that I'm like waking up every single night. Like I would sleep through the night, but I would just like go to bed at like 8 or 9 and then I wake up at 3, and it's just like such a weird schedule and I couldn't for the life of me like fix it. But lately I've been doing like really good mentally, and I've been falling asleep a little bit later and like getting back on like a normal schedule, and I still wake up around like 5 to 6:30, which is like perfect for me. But woke up this morning and I ran. I'm actually filming a week of workouts. I'm gonna try to do it by Friday. I'm like behind on my schedule again. I'm not even gonna like I had a trip, and I know people are getting annoyed. People are kind of being mean lately. Like not mean, but they're like, I'm getting kind of a lot of hate comments. Like hate comments don't really affect me that much unless like there's a lot of the same comments, and there's a lot of the same comments, which I have been aware of. Like I mentioned earlier in this video, I complain a lot and I'm like very negative, which if you watched me before 2020, and I talked about this, I don't need to repeat it, but I feel I need to. I just went through some stuff and I knew I was being negative. I remember having like long conversations with my mom thinking like I just don't look at life as like happy. I think of it as like very negative, and I would like cry to her and think like, I would almost prefer to be like naive and not go through things, because I feel like life is just going to continue to hit me, which it will eventually. Like, life just happens and things happen, but I don't want to like make me a bad person. And for some reason, like, I just couldn't get over that. And I feel, like I said, a little bit more inspired now to like think better thoughts and be positive and not let like life's past affect the way I perceive the world. So I'm working on that. But a lot of you guys also gave me bad comments about my last video because it was like explicit content that wasn't like explicit, which I feel like I did say a lot of things, and like you can insinuate by the answers what they were, but I get it. Like, I never do clickbait, and I don't feel like I did do clickbait, but a lot of you guys are saying I did do clickbait, so I feel like there is some truth to that, because I even talked to my mom and she's like, well, you did kind of like blur out some answers and you said nothing was off limits. I was like, oh, okay. So maybe we'll do another one and we'll actually do it. I got nervous when I was editing. I'm like, do I really want to put this out there? But maybe we'll do another one and I'll actually do it. I'm sorry if you guys got upset about that. I get it though, I get it. But I'm actually gonna make myself a matcha. I haven't had caffeine in so long, and I went to Denver and Dane only had caffeine and I was freezing, so I was like, give me a cup of coffee. And then I got 2 espresso martinis, like all in one day, and I just had like caffeine overload, which was fine because I was like going on a plane and I got home at like 1. But yeah, oh, I'm gonna do the mango. For like Vlogmas. Today is Vlogmas day number. How did I make this again? I forgot. Oh wait, no, wrong step. First, you do the matcha. And the almond milk. Splash. Haven't had one of these in so long. So I completely forgot to show you guys, but I got this new mirror. You can just see how much of a difference it makes in terms of the space. So eventually, like I said, this is a temporary couch. My other couch, the, what is this called? Chaise, whatever. It's gonna go on this side, and then this space will be open. And then what I'm thinking, getting a piece like this, like a really tall, something like this, to go over there, because again, this won't be here. This will be like just this side. And then, yeah, that would be the living space. And then I wanna get like a big ottoman here. I'm thinking maybe like a tan circular module. So I think I'm gonna end the vlog here. I really liked this kind of content because I feel like I'm learning so much, I think, from being single, and I think a lot of people are in the same boat. And it's nice to like hear other people's stories when they're in certain, you know, chapters of their lives, which is what I'm here for, guys. I really hope that people can like gravitate towards my channel when they are going through something, whether that was like grief or COVID at the time or whatever. I just want people to come to my channel to feel like they're not alone. Like, we aren't alone. I'm just like the guinea pig, I guess. I'll like document my experiences, and I'll create like a series. So if I ever have like in the title single diaries, it'll be similar to this video where I'm just kind of going through the motions of that time period in my life. So I'll definitely make this a series, and going forward, if we have chats or something about single and dating and all that stuff, I'll pop them in here. So I hope you guys feel less alone. If you guys have any dating stuff or dating stories or single epiphanies, let me know in the comments down below, because I would love to read through them. But I'm actually really happy right now. Like, I feel really good. I'm in a good place, which is nice. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. I love you guys so much. I'll see you on Friday. Bye.